Well, that was a great big storm that rolled in yesterday, and I couldn't really show you the map properly because the power and the internet went down. But this is to show you the consequence of that storm. Quite a few little bushfires have popped up, one or two quite close to here. So consequently, I'm keeping a close eye on the situation. But the time of year that it is, there's already another thunderstorm rolling in now, and more unsettled weather coming. This is why bushfires start in Australia in the summer. One of the reasons why all these lightning strikes. I know this is the case for most people around the world, but one thing I have definitely discovered since moving here is that to live this sort of life, an off-grid life in a bushfire-prone area, you do have to be part housewife, part mechanic, part economist, part arborealist, part gardener, part meteorologist, part engineer, part handyman. So it's handy to have quite a lot of skills, because you never quite know what the next situation that's going to be thrown at you is. So as I say, yes, what I'll be doing now is monitoring the situation just to give you a bit of an insight. This is one of the reasons that I prepare so avidly for this kind of thing. Most of the evacuation boxes have gone to a safe haven, so all that is left in the house from that front is the box which contains things that we may need, like passports and important information, which is why that stays in the house but does come with me. So most of the sentimental things are gone. If I get the chance, I take things down like pictures. I bring some things like clothes. Obviously, I bring Vita. If the situation is slightly different, then I do have backups in the larder of tinned food and fruit, tinned vegetables and tinned fruits, and I have quite a big supply of drinking water if I end up getting stuck here. But by the by, in the immediate future, what I'll be doing is keeping an eye on the Vic Emergency website to see what's happening with the bushfires local to us, in conjunction with the weather website which I follow. And what I'll be doing on there is checking to see what weather is coming up in the next few days, and principally that'll be if any more storms are coming through, if rain's coming through, and what the direction and speed of the wind is. So all of those fires are to the north of us, so what I'm ideally looking for is a southerly wind to blow the fire away. But if we're getting a hot northerly wind, fast hot northerly wind, then we could be in a bit of trouble. So that's what I'll be doing for the next wee while. I will keep you updated, but so far so good. But this is now seemingly going to be our life for the next few weeks, keeping an eye on this situation and any other situations which may arise, particularly now that we're into the hotter, drier part of summer. That's Vita, dropped off at the vet's. She's gone in for some dental work, and so I'm just waiting to get the word to go and pick her up. I have bought one or two things whilst I've been in town, some of which relate to projects which I hope to be taking forward in the near future. I will show you. Some of the stuff relates to the things I've been doing in the Woodstore, and little bits and pieces relate to projects I'm hoping to start inside the house at long last. But as I say, just waiting for the word to go and collect Vita. I'm killing time in town. I'm now sat in a lovely park. You can't see it, but I might spin you round, and sat in the shade because it's a pretty warm day, but hopefully not too much longer to wait, and I will see you back at home. Okay, we are back at home now, and Vita is fine, and I have got here some of the things that I bought whilst I was in town waiting for her. As you can see, there's a little bit of a theme, and if I spin round, that is because there's one or two places on my car where, for various reasons, the paint has started to chip off. There's this little scratch here. I've got one up here, and I noticed when I washed it the other day, yes, it has been washed, I've got a very dusty drive. There's another little chip coming off there. So I went to an automobile shop and I got the basics that I'm going to need. So for the places where it started to go a little rusty, this is for the roof, and then I had them mix up for me the colour for the gold part of the car. So I'm going to see how this goes. We're back up in the backwoods because I have managed to get further on Project Footpath than I was expecting to by this stage. Quite a big wind came through yesterday, so inevitably it blew quite a lot of leaves down, but I think you can see here, and I've stopped here at the junction of the centre path and the first parallel path. So now I'm on the home straight, quite literally, almost, in that this is the last section of footpath which wends its way back towards the house. I may not get this finished today, but I'm pretty close. Although I am referring to this as phase 1 of Project Footpath, because when I have cleared the surface, my intention then is to go back and do what I call a trim and strim. So I'll be trimming the plants as they are starting to encroach a little bit, so just trimming the bushes back a bit at the side of the footpaths and then giving the footpath surface itself a bit of a strim. I thought, you may remember, that I might only have to do that at the back fire break, but having looked at it, I think it wouldn't hurt to give it a bit of a more comprehensive strim. So that's my plan. That won't be for today for sure, but I'm certainly going to try and get as close to the house as I can this afternoon, and thought you might like to come and keep me company as I go about that. Well, you may or may not be able to tell in this relatively flat light, but that went better than I expected, and I got further than I thought I might, to the extent that I have made my way down to the house, and it's sufficiently early enough in the afternoon to mean that I put my feet up for 5 minutes, and then I think I will finish this centre path work as I spin round, by which I mean I think I'll try and strim it and trim it. Now, the job itself isn't finished because I have the nan path to re-establish, and I have the third parallel path to re-establish, and I've got the Mr. Darcy Walk extension loop to work on, but shouldn't take me too long. So hopefully by the end of the day I would have made pretty good progress on that project.
I thought I'd run through a couple of quick updates so I'm not leaving you hanging. So here's the pear tree. Again, it's not in the rudest of health, but it's definitely got more leaves on it than it had when I moved it, and they're definitely greener. And so, you know, fingers crossed, there's hope for it yet. Here's a quick update on the car. I think you can see the patch-up job there is pretty good, quite difficult to see. And here's where I patched up the black. So, car's a little worse for wears in some respects, but at least it's kind of less visible now, but also obviously protected against rusting. In terms of the Woodstore, I managed to get the 12mm rebar reinforcing bar for usually used for concreting purposes. I got a 30cm length, and I've managed to stake these in. There is a little bit of wobble in them, but that's okay. The point of the stakes really is just to kind of hold the wood in place. But the actual weight of the wood that's going to sit on top of them will largely do that too. It really is just to sort of make sure they don't wobble about as the wood is being put on them. And so what I've come down to do now is try to put this on. As I've mentioned before, this is a slightly different metal than is currently on the base. This is all like concrete reinforcing materials, but this came in flat sheets which we were able to more easily transport at the time. I can't fit those in my car, and I don't have access to a trailer at the moment because my car doesn't have a tow bar. So I bought this roll. It's slightly more flimsy and the squares are slightly larger. So I'm not sure how it's going to go. I might need to get a second roll to sort of double it up, or maybe this will be okay. It's stronger than chicken wire, but not as strong as that. So I'm going to start, well, trying to start attaching it now. This is my equipment, pretty basic, and I will get back to you when I know more about whether this is a good solution or whether this has been a waste of time.
Lastly, for these updates, I'm pleased to report that that little bushfire near us, and in fact the several bushfires in our area, admittedly it's quite a big area, didn't really amount to anything. We've had a lot of rain since, so far so good for this summer, but one can never get complacent. But I thought you'd be pleased to hear we're in the clear at the moment.